Welcome to Keeping It Real, where we talk business, money, and mindset.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Keeping It Real podcast. Today, I got a really special guest, man, and I've been waiting to talk to this guy forever, and we're finally doing it. And this crazy is like our first convo, I guess, is being recorded on the podcast, bro. I want to introduce to you guys my homie, Lucanetz, big homie Lucanetz, who just turned, 22, was it?
Just turned 22.
Happy belated birthday, bro.
Thanks, Splash, man. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, bro. How you feeling right now, man? How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. How about yourself?
Doing good as always, bro. Doing good as always. In this podcast, man, like I said to you earlier before even this, like I'm genuinely like curious about a lot of things. So I know it's gonna be dope. And I'm just like excited to like, I guess hear your, just I guess see your mindset and see your view on a lot of things, because you are like really like a really interesting person, bro. Like I'll be seeing your stories and I'll be like, yo, it's like interesting. I start questioning shit too. And there's some certain shit we're going to talk about, which, it's going to be sick. But I guess to just start off for the people that don't know you, because you're one of these like low key guys that, are like crushing it. But even though you have a lot of followers, you're still like not out there selling a course, running ads or whatever. Right. So for the people that don't know you, man, let them know who you are and what you do, bro.
Yeah, dude. I'm, it's just kind of interesting before we go to that. Today, I've been meaning to talk to you for quite a while. Right. And, I blew you off the last couple of days. So I was waiting for something to happen. Today was like one of the happiest days of my life. And then it turned into a pretty sad day because my grandma died. But I thought it was pretty important to speak with you regardless, because I feel like I'm in a headspace that I'm not usually in. And I think it's just wise for me to speak. And so here we are. I mean, long story short, my story is I grew up all over the world, spent most of my time in Los Angeles. My financial situation growing up wasn't good. At 16, I had to drop out of high school, not because I had to, but because I kind of came to the realization pretty early on that I wanted to go to school for business, college for business. I knew that it was totally counterintuitive to go to school for business and go into debt to do that. And so I thought to myself, what would any businessman do? I knew I wanted to make money. I knew I had to make money, not only for myself, but for my family. And so I took it upon myself. I took the CHESP, which is, the California test to test out of school. Tested out of school, started working a job, worked a 9 to 5 for 2 years, 5 to 6 days a week, 365 days a year. Saved my money, right? Because I knew that I didn't know how I was going to be rich. I knew I was going to be rich, but I knew I had to have money in the cut so that when the time came, I would have the resources, or at least money wouldn't be a barrier to achieve my success. And so that was kind of the plan. Put my head down, work, put the hours in, save as much money as I possibly can. So when an idea hit, I would have the liquidity to hit the ground running. 2 years into working, I worked 2 jobs, one at a tech startup called Ring, which was really awesome. And then another one at a solar company selling solar panels over the phone, which was really awesome. Subsequently, I just kind of got tired of that. I saw, some course on Instagram, some kid saying, well, my little brother's making $5,000 a day. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh shit, bro. So I give this kid my $2.99. Didn't teach me shit. What a fucking waste of money. But it did teach me Shopify, and it did teach me a Burlo. So, though it didn't teach me any real tangible strategies, it taught me, what this space was about. And for me, once I understood whoa, I can sell whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, to whoever I want without putting up really any money. That was just the golden nugget for me. I a light lit up in my head. I was like, dude, this is the most genius thing I've ever thought about. And so I just tried. I failed. And then, once I got that first taste of success, nothing could stop me then. And so, from that point forward, I just worked my ass off, and, it sometimes didn't work my ass off, and just kind of rode the wave up until, where I am today. And where I am today is just turned 22 years old, successful, financially, but, more so today, successful spiritually and in form of happiness, right? Which is something I honestly lacked a couple months ago. But I've really found my way. I found my path since then. And so, now I feel like I'm in a space where I'm striving for greatness, bro.
Right. I love that, man. I say that a lot too, bro. That is a different feeling, bro. I love that, man. That's what's up.
So now the trajectory is greatness. Like, what am I going to do to be a great human being? How am I going to do it? And I'm going to do it now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to wait for it to come, right? Which is what I did. I kind of got complacent recently. The last like year and a half, I was like, okay, I'm making so much money passively. Life is good. The next deal is going to come, the one that's going to make me tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. But now, like, I'm chasing after it, and I'm going to get it. So as far as my story, that's pretty much it. But we're only a fifth of the way in, a fourth of the way in. So the story's just begun.
Man, that's crazy, man. There's so much things I want to talk about. I feel like we're going to touch on it, like, from what you talked about. But I think one thing I want to kind of touch on is the two, the jobs you worked at Ring, the startup, and then the solar. Like, I know so many people like frown upon getting a job and stuff, but I guess I want you to talk about like what you learned from having that job and how it kind of helped you in the future. You know what I mean?
Right. So a lot of people, and even friends of mine, and some friends of mine might take offense to this, but you can't. The only thing you should be embarrassed or ashamed of is being broke, right? Nice. Like if you don't have it, like, don't think you're too good for a job. I mean, that's the most nonsensical, retarded thing I've ever heard. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing you should feel that you're too good for is being fucking broke. Excuse my language. Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Keep it real, man. Keep it fucking real. No cap.
Right. And so like, dude, like I had to get it. And like, I could have, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the Keeping It Real podcast. I did a lot of fucked up things growing up, bro. Like I sold drugs. I did stuff to people that I shouldn't have done. A lot of things, a lot of vices, and demons that I carry with me to this day. And, I've tried to right all those wrongs, and I have in my own form and way to those people that I've hurt. But like, the job was a way for me to like get out of that path of doing bad things and starting to make money the right way. And, if you kind of add up the math, like people will like sell weed and like dime bags and shit and really moving pounds and like, or like really dealing bricks. Like that money that you're making flipping fucking dimes is the same amount of money like you would get working a job. Do you know what I mean? You probably make more money working a job than you would
without the risk, without all this,
without the risk and like looking over your shoulder. And like a lot of people don't sit there and actually do the math. And so for me, it was just, I was thankful enough to get the job at Ring. How I got that was, dude, I printed out 100 resumes. I forget who the friend I was walking with, but it was like Jack or I think it was Jack. And dude, I just walked up and down Beverly Hills, walked into stores, gave him my resume, went all up and down Tech Row in Santa Monica, gave him my resume. And then there was a small startup with like 10 people named Ring.
Right.
I gave him my resume and the dude was like, yeah, bro, I respect the hustle. Come in. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And just for preference, Ring ended up selling for $1 billion in Amazon. And by the time I left, they had 1,000 employees. So I was like, if I was any other person other than the dude who handed his resume at 17 years old, they probably would have gave me stock options or something cool like that. You know what I mean? Because I was so early in.
Right.
And then, that at one point, like I realized like, look, there's no way for me to move up in this space because, they were just hiring Ivy League after Ivy League. Like there was a big company and like, okay, like little old me is not going to excel here. So I started working solar sales. And the reason for that is, I always wanted to be rewarded for how hard I worked. You know what I mean? Like if I worked hard for 8 hours at a flat fee, I mean, like, what does that do? How am I incentivized? Like at the end of the day, I'm riding the clock and I'm screwing the person who's employing me. That's how most of that stuff will always work, unless, some people are different, but most people think like that. You know what I mean? And so I started working sales and couldn't believe it. I'm over here 18 years old, like the number one sales kid at this place with like 40 sales representatives. Wow. And because I have like a silver tongue, like I'm a pretty good speaker.
Right.
And so, I was crushing it. I loved it. And then like these guys were putting me on a pedestal. This kid's 18. You guys are 40. How is he making 10 G's a month and you guys aren't? And then I started scratching my head. Like, I'm no fool. Like I wasn't making 10 G's a month. The way that it worked was they were saying that, but I got paid once the job was installed. So like my gross at the month, like I should be making 10 G's, but it take months for these systems to be installed. Right. And they didn't pay me until after the installation. So I really got fucking screwed. And so like, okay, Jimmy doesn't want the solar system anymore. This guy's roof needs to be redone. Before you like just start doing the math, I'm really making like 3,500 4Gs, and they're putting me on this pedestal like I'm the best in the building. And I'm looking at my paycheck and I'm like, damn, dude, like I'm definitely not like if this is the best in the building, I've got to find something. I got to find something ASAP. And that's when I just, honestly, it was just God. It was just fate. You know what I mean? It's what God wanted me to do. And he put that in my hands. And, I saw that course, the guy I ended up buying it from. It was kind of funny because he's a known scammer now, Jet Set Fly.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, man, Jet Set Fly taught me Shopify and Burlo, but bro, that $2.99, that shit didn't teach me jack diddly squat. So, I mean, like at the end of the day, he was just selling you the dream. But, Shopify Burlo is a good first step.
Right.
And so understanding what is possible here. And then I kind of took it from there.
That's crazy, man. And, right now I know you're involved a lot with e-commerce. Would you say that's something like you actually like enjoy doing, like you have passion doing, you like growing brands? Is that a passion of yours?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. At one point it wasn't. At one point I didn't like doing what I was doing.
Right. It's like a money thing.
Right. But then I had to take a step back and realize how grateful I should be. You know what I mean? One thing that I lacked, in this whole journey to success was gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found gratitude, bro. And
do you travel, bro? Quick question. Do you travel?
Yeah, I've traveled, but I haven't been to the third world. So I haven't been.
Those type of experiences, like I tell people, bro, I don't get depressed no more, bro. Like, I don't even know what depression, sadness is, because it's like the contrast is always there of like what I've seen. And what I've seen like some kids go through versus like that's why I hate sob stories in the West. Like, this especially too, like, especially like the way we grew up and like literally out the mud type shit. Like excuses don't mean nothing, like as a man, especially, goddamn.
Dude, I'll tell you this. If you live in America or Canada or the major cities in Europe, like there's no reason for you to be successful. The only thing that is stopping you is yourself. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. I don't care if you're from Watts, 7 miles away from me, Compton. Take your ass on the bus and go down to the library and make some shit shake. Because if I was in that situation, which I pretty much was, I would have done the same fucking shit. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, your ability to succeed is based on your will to succeed, right? And how much you want to succeed, right? Like, dude, I've wanted this since I was like 13 years old. You know what I mean? I've been writing ideas. I have a list of ideas, 1,000 ideas long, since I was 14 years old with my friend Dylan. That's writing shit down in this room. You know what I mean? Like people would have never known it, right? Because I had like a different facade than what you might have known. But I knew this was my destiny. I just didn't know how or when, but I knew this was meant for me.
That's crazy, bro. That's just
interesting. You say that the third world countries, bro, massive perspective. And I used to look at it from the outside in. Unfortunately, I had to really go through some terrible stuff to understand these things, to have these revelations.
Right.
But, I wish I would have traveled to a third world country so I didn't have to go through what I went through to get what I know now.
To learn the lesson you might have to, like, not gone through some of the shit you've gone through, to just learn that same lesson, and avoid, I guess, the pain and whatever comes with it.
Exactly.
Right. I know you're involved in like many other businesses other than e-commerce, and the question I have is like, how do you transition efficiently? Not just because anyone can just transition. The thing is transitioning effectively where it's like you're not jeopardizing your other business while you're trying to grow this one.
Right. That's a great question. So with all my businesses, I know what I'm good at, right? And a lot of my businesses, like I think there might be one business that I own 100% of, right? Like I'm all about putting people in position to do the things that I know that I'm not good at, right? I know I'm good at one thing. That's marketing, right? Driving traffic, making people see it. That's what I'm good at, right? The other minutia, I put people in position to deal with that stuff. Whether it's my friends, whether it's acquaintances, whether it's people that I meet, whether it's people that have worked for me that I now think they're worthy of, taking it to the next level.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. In regards to me diversifying, not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm very wise, right? And a lot of the roles that I play in a lot of businesses is an advisor role, right? I've lost millions of dollars, dude, and I've gone through a lot of pain and suffering, learning a lot of lessons. And one thing that I always taught myself since I was young is it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to learn things. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn them and you don't repeat the mistakes, right? And so I've been very keen at of this concept since a young age, and I've learned a lot from my mistakes, and I've really stayed true to what I've learned. And so I don't really play a labor intensive role in the businesses that I'm a part of. The e-commerce stuff, I do the ads, right? That's the thing. Right now I'm going to teach my blood brother how to you do ads, right? Because I want to put him in a position to win, and I trust him too, because the ads is my secret sauce. I don't want to just teach people ads, you know what I mean? Because that's how I make millions of dollars, even though, one day I will. And that will be something that I might pursue. Who knows? God has my path laid out. It'll just happen when it happens.
Right.
But the only labor intensive stuff I do is ads, you know what I mean? And so the other stuff, that I'm a part of, it's stuff that I'm doing anyway. And you'd be surprised, I'm a part of maybe 20, 25 different businesses, total, if we're counting every store that I have.
Right.
There's 15 businesses in one business. So don't think that oh shit, this fool's got 20 different businesses. There's 15 that are all one business, but they're all their own individual systems. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so there's really probably about 7 businesses that are completely different from one another that I'm a part of. And there I play a strategic role, right? I advise at what I know best. I provide capital where capital is needed. And I help, I will never take something on if I think that I will hurt the people that are bringing me on. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to just take my 10%, my 20%, because I'm greedy. I'm a little piglet. Now sign it away, Talon, write the contract. We got him. I'm never like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not who I am. I will only take something on if I feel it has a good symbiotic relationship to all my other businesses. I'm not starting a grocery store. You know what I mean? All my stuff is cool shit. You know what I mean?
That you and that you actually have a passion in some way,
yeah, and they all correlate. You know what I mean? They can all tie into each other one way or another. You know what I mean? And so it's not me, if I'm thinking for business Y, it's pretty applicable for business A. Do you know what I mean? And so that way I'm ability, I have a great way to kind of spread my tentacles, but by still doing good by people and providing value.
No, that's one thing I know about you is everybody tells me that you're a real one. Everyone's Luca is the real one. Giuliano, shout out Giuliano. He said you got him a video with Patty for free, and he's bro, he didn't have to do that, but he did that for me. That means a lot, and that says a lot about you as a person, bro. And I feel that's one of the reason you're winning too is the mentality of everybody eats, and like you said, putting people on and letting them grow as well, not being greedy with all the money that you make or all the things that that you can put people on and shit. And that's why I really respect you a lot, bro.
You've got to, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's one thing that I've learned. I wasn't a religious man. I was always a believer in God or a higher power. But you're reading the Quran, because I'm Muslim now. All that stuff will come back to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's so true, bro. All the negative.
Let's actually dive into that, because that was actually one of the notes I had, bro. So when I saw that story, that hit me differently, because it was to me, it was not that you were reading the book. Because me, is he got to a point where he's so open-minded to study other religions. My thing was what was the motive behind even taking that step to do that? Because that takes certain amount of open-mindedness to do that shit. I'm all about being very open-minded and learning, but I see that as some next level shit, man. Because there's some certain topics that people will never be open to. So that was very, very interesting to me, and I really wanted to that was one of the main questions I wanted to ask was what was the motive behind doing that thing, and how has it benefited you?
So unfortunately, the motive wasn't as pure as you might think.
Word.
I've been going through these last 4 months. I don't want to dive into this.
Right.
I'll talk about it one day.
Right.
These last 4 months have been the hardest 4 months of my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with a health issue that really opened my eyes,
mm-hmm.
right? That really put me to the test as a man, as a human, as a friend, as a partner. No matter every way you put it, I really fucked up, and I had to look at myself in the mirror, and I had to find, and I looked and how did I get here?
Mhm.
And it was my lack of values, my lack of discipline, my lack of truth. And so in this epiphany,
Mhm.
I started to look for answers. And one of the answers I found was God.
Mhm.
And I knew that everything that has happened in my life was for a reason. And it's been because this higher power, God, has put these obstacles, these trials and tribulations in front of me to test me, to see if I would persevere, if I would succeed,
Mhm.
and also to kind of shake me, to kind of wake me up, like, what am I doing? And so in this kind of epiphany, I thought to myself, like, it was very quickly, very fast that I believe, like, yo, like, I believe in God. Now, I always had like this gut feeling in like my soul, like in my heart, right? That like God existed. Like I can't explain to you, bro. Like I was a really bad kid growing up. I was robbing people, bro. I was graffitiing. Like I was doing all the things that you're not supposed to do.
Right.
And like every time I was caught in a bad corner, you know, I would result to what a lot of people result to, praying, right? Praying to God.
Right.
Lord, come down and help me. And, you know, in this specific instance, I went back to, you know, I went back to the last resort, which is praying to God. And dude, he fucking pulled through for me. Like where I thought nobody could pull through. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I thought to myself, like, I thought I was really screwed, Splash Man.
Right.
Nah, I'm telling you, bro. Like I thought I really looked death in the face and I thought I was really messed up. And
right.
So for me, I was like, wow, like all these blessings, like the things that I have, like everything that has come into my life, everything that I've taken for granted, like the amount of gratitude I have now and the amount of gratitude I have for the man or woman above me, whoever, you know, you believe God to be, right? I need to look into this further. And so I told myself, I said, look, I'm open-minded. I want to read the three main scriptures, right? The Torah, the Bible, and the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
And I read through them, and the Quran was so aligned with who I wanted to be as a human being,
right?
With the values that I knew true to myself, that I thought was the most right. That like, dude, I was like, this is the direction I need to go in my life. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to say every single paragraph and every single sentence in the Quran I agree with, because I don't. But I would say 97 and 98% of what that book reads, bro, I'm right there with it. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an example. And well, it's a really easy and simple one to understand, and we won't dwell on this. You know what I mean? I don't know how much time you have, but impure money, right? Let's just talk about money, because you're Splash Man, right? The money man. Right? Yo, I have made so much impure money in my life, right? And every time that I've made this impure money, right? And impure money is charging interest, right? All my interest deals, bro, have gone to shit. Yo, I've tried to hard money loan. I've tried to interest people who needed money 10 times over, bro. Lost every single time, right? It never works out the way I wanted to. Why? Because it's not pure money, right? Every dollar that I've stolen from somebody, and like, I'm not a thief, but like, you gotta understand, when I mean steal, I mean like, yo, when I was 15 and like my mom couldn't pay the bills and I was pissing in a bottle because my mom was Airbnb-ing the room next to me and my room was a hotel and it wasn't a room, right? I had to do things that I needed to do to survive and get out of the situation that I was in, because that shit was hell for me, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like, I'll give you an example. I ended up finessing in like 6 months, like 30 G's. Don't ask me how I did it, because I'll never speak on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? 30 grand, right? I was like, dude, I was so stoked. I was like, I'm finally gonna get out of this place, this hellhole. Like, I'm out of here. I'm gone, right? I go, like, I meet like these famous kids at the time. They're like, yo, come to dinner with us, 26 Beach, whatever. I'm like, bet, let's do it. I bring $30,000 cash with me, right? All the money, because I wanted to flex, because I'm insecure, right? I bring all the money with me. I leave the restaurant. Money's gone. I don't know what happened. Somebody stole it. I left it. I don't know what the fuck happened. Gone. And that, every penny of that, every dollar of that 30 grand was impure money. right?
Right.
Anything, bro. I did this, like, and we can go back to so many situations, so many scenarios where you quantify impure money, right? And like, it just completely backfired. And so like, that's just one of 30 examples, right? Where it's just so relatable and so in tune with like things that I know to be true, that I was like, wow, this is the path I want to go. Now, more so than that, like I'm a decisive person, but like to make such a big decision, I need to know a little bit more. You know, I bought I'm kind of dyslexic when I say this, but a thwab, you know, the suit, the Muslim, full white, you know, with the thing.
Right.
I don't know. What do you call that? I call it thwab. It's schwab. Okay,
Sure.
right. But you know.
I know what exactly.
Exactly. So I bought one of those, right? Because I know that's like, you know, one of the things you need to have in your arsenal as a Muslim, you know, for occasions. You know what I'm saying? And I put it on and I just started crying, bro. Like it was almost like it was the weirdest thing. Like I guess I'm like not the most non-emotional person, but I don't just like cry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I looked in the mirror and I was like, I felt so right. Like I felt so at home. And like I knew that like all the Muslim people that I've met and interacted with, bro, like a Muslim person has never done me wrong. Like they just never have. Like I've never been screwed. Now, obviously I can't quantify this, right? One of my Jewish friends, Ben, he was like, well, look, you can't just assume just because like, you can't just be Muslim because like a Muslim person's never hurt you and a Christian or a Jewish person might. And he's right. You know what I mean? And that's not why I become Muslim. I became Muslim because of like all of the things that I read in the Quran and like, yo, like putting on that suit, bro, like I had never felt so comfortable in my own skin. Right. And it was like the most surreal feeling that I ever felt. And I felt like at peace, bro. And like, I'm somebody that hasn't been at peace ever. You know what I mean?
Right, man. I respect that a lot, bro. I respect that a fucking lot to even have the balls to like to do that shit. Like, 'cause you know what I mean? A lot of people wouldn't do that or even talk about it publicly because they're scared and they care about what other people think. And I just think that it takes a lot of balls and, you know, like a lot of heart to even like share that and shit, man. That's some real shit, man.
Thank you. And I just want to touch on this before we move on to whatever is next. But whether you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, anybody who's listening to this, we're all sons of God. And, you know, some people might not agree with me, right? Like, maybe I'm a little more unorthodox Muslim than most, and I'm okay with that. And some people in the community might denounce me for some of the things and the beliefs that I have, right? But like, I truly believed that we're all sons of God and sisters of God, you know what I mean? And like, God loves us as long as you believe in him. And as long as, you know he's there. I love all my Jewish brothers and sisters. I love all my Christian brothers and sisters. Right. I love all my Muslim brothers and sisters. And, you know, even if people might not agree with this, but like, even if you don't believe in God yet, I know you will, you know what I mean? And I still love you. And whether you're gay or lesbian or I still love you, you know what I mean? And
unity, man, unity, bro. I think especially now we're so divided, you know, like America, bro, very divided nation, bro, the left and right. Like, I think it's so important to like preach what you said, bro. Unity, man. Unity among just humans, just because, we're humans, you know, fuck what you believe in, this, that, or whatever, bro. We're just all humans at the end of the day.
Agreed. So that's the Muslim journey.
That's awesome, man. Like I said, bro, that shit's so interesting to me. And it was awesome finally hearing, I guess, like, you know, the thinking behind that and how it came about. The next question I really have for you, bro, and this is like something I'm genuinely curious about, bro, because someone like you, man, you push numbers and like, when I mean numbers, like numbers, right? At a very young age, what I've noticed with myself and a lot of my friends that are entrepreneurs is that there's times like, and you might have gone through this as well, like when you hit a certain number and you're like, shit, man, I'm young making this much. What the fuck? Like, this is like a lot of fucking money. Like, what's the motivation or what's the inspiration to even think bigger and do bigger? You know what I mean? It's like, I've been in the point where it's like, damn, like the fuck, like live in a nice condo, can travel, eat whatever the fuck I want. Like, what more is there? Like, what motivates you to push? Like guys, I feel like some of you guys don't understand what I mean by numbers. Like, I mean like numbers, you know what I mean? Like there's not, like, that's not an understatement, bro. I've seen some of this shit you've been doing and, you know, I've heard some legendary stories, bro. Like my whole thing was like, bro, like, what always pushes you just fucking bigger and bigger at such a young age, man?
And that's a great question. And so I'll be completely honest with you, man. I'm 3 years into this, right?
It's crazy, dude.
I've up until about a month and a half ago, which is really 2 months ago, because of my, illness or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I hadn't worked as hard as I did since I was broke. Mm-hmm. And it was a motivation that I lacked. And to be honest with you, bro, this is to keep it a bean. And it honestly kind of undermines me a little bit. Bro, I was making so much money doing literally diddly squat, bro, like scratching my nuts. You know what I mean? Like, and I had no motivation. And for a whole year and a half, 2 years, and the people really close to me knew this, I was printing cash like the Federal Reserve, bro. And it was because of a couple power plays that I had did, but I wasn't the beast everybody thought I was. Today I am. Now I'll stand by that today. Today I'm a monster, bro. Right. There's nobody I think I'm the best. You know what I mean? Right. And like, if you think you're better than me, kudos. You know what I mean? But I put numbers on the board, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't know anybody that's not Kylie or Jeffree Star that's my age that puts numbers on the board like me. You know what I mean? Awesome. And so some people, again, like, I want that to inspire and motivate people. You know what I mean? Like, don't take that as a shot. Take that as, bro, I believe in my abilities right now. But, bro, I'm telling you, about a year and a half ago, Luca's the GOAT. Luca's the GOAT. Man, I was really the GOAT, bro. I was the GOAT because I had set up some really crucial power plays. Mm-hmm. But, man, I wasn't nice like I'm nice now. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I can do it all now. I can do Google. I can do Facebook. I can do it all. Like, you can't, like, I even try to do emails, and then I saw you post that screenshot with 18% like conversion rates, and I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, yo, cause you've been trying to get to, bro, cause I grew up poor, right? So I'm greedy. Like, it's something I'm working on. You know what I mean? Right. I'm like, this kid can't be doing some shit that I'm not. I'm on Klaviyo looking at all the flows. I'm like, I'm typing. I'm like, I'm Splash, man. Like, you can't get me. I'm like, he can't, like, there's nothing he's doing that I'm not. And I'm over here like 3-4% like conversion rate on my emails. I'm like, whoa, I bet this kid's not doing what I'm doing. I'm going at all the free flows, bro. I got like 50 flows on my shit. I'm like, you can't touch me. And then I see you 18%. I'm like, oh, I'm scratching my noggin. I'm like, yo, bro, I would have made like an extra 500 bands if this fool would have been on my shit. Right. I was like, dude, honestly, I'm like really questioning, like putting you on board. And honestly, bro, I am. It's just like, I got to
talk after this. We're going to talk after this for sure, man.
Right. Let's talk after this, bro. Cause I saw that. I was like, yo, okay. So like, there's obviously some subject line that this kid is putting, like there's like this dude's
think about it. Since 2017 to now, bro. Since 2017 to now, like consistently, almost every day, like I've been doing something email related, to a point where it's like, first I learned through a course, but I've gone through so much shit, learned, like worked with so many stores. Like there's certain things that I feel like, it's just, man, I don't know. We can talk about emails all the time, man. But like,
you got an awesome
appreciate that, man. That means a lot, man. That means a lot coming from you, bro. Thanks for showing love, man. That means a lot.
And I'm proud of you. You don't know it, but like, bro, I really respect what you've done, and like your story. And you and I don't know each other on a personal level, but I'm extremely proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Because like you're really doing it. You know what I mean? And you're doing it not only for yourself, but most importantly, your family. You know what I mean? And for your culture and for your people. You know what I mean? It's important. You know what I mean? You have more on your shoulders than you think you do.
No. I think that's the biggest thing I realized recently, and that's why I started becoming more selfish. And I think that's the huge revelation I've had recently is like, I need to be selfish because that's the most selfless thing I can do, Right. You can probably relate, like when you have you have team members, family, this, that, like they literally rely on you. Like all your businesses, like they literally rely on you to eat. So like if someone, you know what I mean? It's like, if someone's fucking with you, man, they basically fucking with all of them too. Yeah. And then that hit me. I was like, bro, I can't let anyone fuck with my family like that, bro. So, I have to be extra selfish, bro. But man, really appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. It means a lot. It really means a lot.
Of course. And you're only going to keep doing more amazing things year after year after year. And pretty soon Splash Man's going to be the #1 email marketer to ever walk this earth. I got my money on it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You know, I have a question, you know, because this is something I'm going through right now. And I think a lot of people really don't, because you know what they say is like, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I think a lot of people don't know the actual obstacles and the problems that come with operating at such a high level. And that is actually why I believe a lot of people might even like, you know, avoid that. And I guess I wanted you to touch on like the obstacles that you go through when you're operating at such a high scale with a lot of moving operations. I guess like the behind the scenes that people don't see, you know, because people just see, oh, Luca just made 70 bands today. Wow, this guy living a cool life. But I guess just like the behind the scenes type shit.
I'll tell you that doing the numbers at the way that I'm doing it, right? There's a lot of freaking problems, bro. And there's a lot of like, for example, I have $1.6 million locked right now. And so everybody's like,
a small number, like the fuck.
Right. And they're like, whoa, that's okay. That's great. And, you know, I didn't really do anything wrong. The business is completely legitimate. I don't do that no fulfill or, you know, that shit that those people do. Like, if you do that, go screw yourself, seriously, like middle finger to you. You know what I mean? That's just so lame and loser, and it's just so bad.
You're ruining it for everyone. You're really ruining like the online space for everybody. Like,
right. No, you really have to like do good by people. Like some people really have the nerve to like not fulfill orders. I mean, you're a sicko. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, like you'll see me do $1.6 million. I took that store from 0 to 1.6 in 30 days, right? They locked all the money. And because I had gone from literally 0 to that much volume, there was like, no, it was a new process or whatever. And they're just like, no, this is like not okay. Like, and I was like, what? I have to come out $1 million, right? Because I spent $250 on advertising and I spent, you know, 900. Like, bro, I've come out $1 million, right? To like fulfill these orders. Like, I'm hurt. Like, that's a bad beat for having my money 6 months. Okay, sure, I made X amount of dollars. It's going to get released in 6 months. But like, yo, $1 million something, bro, I got to carry that in a bull market. Like, yo, I could be making a lot of money with that money.
A lot of fucking money, man. I know that.
And to that point, bro, I deal with a lot of things, a lot of stress. But again, like I told you, right, I put people in position to help me with these things. I'm not a good micromanager. I'm not a good, you know what I mean, manager of people. I'm a leader to my partners and my co-conspirators, right, and people I do business with. And I'm a really good marketer, and that's stuff that makes me happy. But when it comes to dealing with the other problems, it makes me really unhappy, and I put people in position to help like mitigate the stress of all that stuff. Right. Now, thankfully, you know, I have a really amazing, you know, processing team that like, obviously they're like, how's your processing team so amazing if 1.6 million luck? Like there's some things that the processing team can't help you with that like the bank will just flag you for, and like you can't control the bank, like unless you know the guy who owns the bank, right? But like nonetheless, like it's a red flag when you do $0 one day and 80,000 the next every single day for 30, you know what I mean? And so like I'm not mad at them, you know what I mean? But I have a really amazing processing team. I have this guy, Amir, who's honestly my mentor, and he's Muslim, and he's helped me through this Muslim journey of mine. Him and I have formed a company called Steam Commerce, and Steam Commerce is basically like your full-fledged 360 solution to like all these little problems. And he's built out a really amazing, like top-of-the-line team when it comes to fulfillment, sourcing, and doing all of that minutia. And this guy's like, this dude worked at Apple for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like this dude's a real all-star. You know what I mean? Right. And so like I figured out the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And like I have teams, and I'm part of companies who I service my companies to those companies. And I figured out a great little circle and little pyramid that I've got going that like makes this stuff easier. Now the executive stuff still stresses me, but I'm gonna tell you, like, when you go to a third world country, when you deal with an illness, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, it really makes you immune to these little first world bullshit problems. You know what I mean? And so I've gone through so many of it that like, yo, bro, before $1.6 million locked, I would have been tossing and turning, losing sleep. When they locked my money, bro, 20 minutes, I tripped about it. I went to bed and slept like a freaking baby. You know what I mean? Right. Life is more important than money, you know? And the problems that come with you dealing with these businesses, I'm going to be rich as hell no matter what. You know what I mean? I'm going to have hundreds of millions of dollars, whether you lock my money, whether you don't. It's just a small fork in the road until things get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been saying, man, detachment from money has made me more like when I stopped thinking like, oh, 10K a month, 20K a month. And I started thinking, you know, I want my business to be at this level where like I can sign a client without knowing.
What a great thing. People listen to this.
Bro, and this was the last 2 months. This was literally a change in the last, like, when I like tell you, like, going, you know, from really, like, you know, being alone and making a lot of money and then going down because I couldn't sustain it, and really just like focusing on building a team and building a proper business rather than chasing a number. Like, everything changed. Like, we make more money, and, you know, I don't even care, because like you said, it's like, I care about the future, bro. It's like, money's just a piece of fucking paper right now. I see it as fuel to, like, let me achieve my, like, long-term goals. Like, I literally even told my team, like, and all my friends, I said, for the next 2 years, I really don't even give a fuck about, like, the quality of my life, because the long term, like, you know, I'm trying to enjoy, like, yachts, you know, fucking private jets.
What are these people thinking with these little goals? I want a Huracan. Like, bro, I don't want a Huracan. I want a 100-footer, bro. Like, I want a house in the Hamptons.
Right.
I want a house in Monaco, bro. I want a house in Big Sur, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Like, I want 10 houses, dude.
Levels.
All $10 million each. Like, I can't settle for less. And, you know, this is something I just recently found out, too. So you and I are on the same wavelength. Like, yo, I used to be so obsessed with what my bank account or my stock portfolio, like, I had this little note, like, all my assets, and I'm like, oh, you're at X amount of million, or, you know what I mean? And I used to, like, oh, like, wow, like, bro, like, the second, like, during my little phase that I went through, I stopped thinking about that, and I started focusing, which I'd never done this whole time, on customer experience. Mm-hmm. Now, today, I want my customers to be happy.
Right.
Like, I don't even look at the account. Like, the account is, like, no longer a thing for me. Now my main focus is, like, how can I make the people buying from me happy? Like, how can I do that? And in that process, I've learned that, like, wow, am I making so much more money? You know what I'm thinking? Like, that.
It's a byproduct of, like, you just doing good and being really good at something. I just see it as that.
That greed shit is really the root of all evil, bro.
I 100% agree, man. I fucking 100% agree, man. I think that's what ruins, like, people's like, you know what I mean? It's just so sad that I've lost beautiful relationships with people over money. Like that.
Oh, that's the worst, bro. If you let a relationship go because of money, bro, you got it all fucked up.
Yeah, man. Like, for me, and I personally think it's a stupid long-term play, because I'm like, if, like, yo, you tripped over about 1,000, but together we could have made millions, you know? Like, I see it as that as well. It's like, bro, why are you tripping about the short, like, again, long-term shit? Why you care about that right now? Like, I have friends that, I guess, sold our friendship for, like, $100, man. Like, some stupid shit where I'm like, you know what? Like, all right, I'll pay this money, but, like, we're done. You know what? I'll sacrifice the money, but, like, that's what our friendship was worth to you. And, you know, that's it, you know? And it's sad, because I'm like, long-term, we could have made so much more money together. Like,
people like us, Splashman, always win.
100%.
That short-sighted, greedy, stealing, evil, short-term reward. That's the devil, bro. Like, that's like, and like that's not even me saying it. Like, the books say it. All the books say it. The Bible says it. The Torah says it. The Quran says it.
And we have lived it to know it. You know, it's like literally making conclusions based on the data from our life type shit. Like, literally, it's crazy. Something that I want to quickly touch on is, you know, we talked a lot about a team and stuff, and I love, like, bro, I think I study human psychology more than anything. My thing is, like, what have you learned about people dealing with teams, dealing with a lot of people? You know, some certain things you've noticed about, like, just people, like certain lessons you learned about managing people, or people in general.
So about a year ago, I had tried to take my business to the next level, right? I had gotten an office. I had hired employees. I really gave myself a crazy bottom line. I think our overhead was like 40 G's a month, right? Mm-hmm. And in this process, I really tried to I had never really ran a business like that before. I never had an office. I never had people coming in. Everything was virtual, and I had somebody else managing it. Mm. And that business failed, right? Wow. I had lost maybe $500,000, probably less, like some hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, in the process. Mm-hmm. And I learned a couple things. I learned if you want the best, you got to pay them the best.
Facts.
I was so cheap. I was like, I was spending like 10 G's on an office, but I wouldn't pay like the dude who was so crucial to my business more than like 3,500 a month. Like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? Like certain, like super nonsense. I was, you know, you want to be cool, but you don't want to be too cool where people think they can walk over you. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be firm. You don't want to be angry or mean. You want to be firm, right? But you want to be somebody that somebody can come to, right? You want to be a leader. And the biggest reason why that business failed was my lack of communication.
That's why I saw the other day you said that you're going to make your greatest weakness like your greatest strength.
It was my greatest weakness and always has been. I have this thing where like if somebody calls me, I get like an anxiety attack.
Dude, like it's like so crazy to think about that.
It's like weird. It's like weird. And like, bro, you want to be a billionaire, bro? Cut that shit out. Like, that's got to be cut out quick. And like, I've been having this and it's like, I knew it was a flaw, but like, I didn't know at what extent it was a flaw. Now, like, I fucking will force myself to get on the phone with somebody and like, I will put a smile on my face, even though I'm like so miserable. I don't care. I need to teach myself that I need to like this. You know what I mean? Because like, communicating is the number one thing to having a successful business. If you and everybody in your business are keeping an open line of communication and you guys can communicate, then the rest is history. You can conquer the world. You know what I mean?
100%. I completely agree. I think without a strong, and back to what you said, is like, that is one of the most crucial thing, not only in business, but I think in like relationship, life in general, man. I think a lot of problems leads through like the lack of communication, miscommunication. Like I've lost a lot of money, or, you know, I've seen a lot of mistakes being made in my business, and it's never their mistake. It was because, you know, it was a lack of communication or miscommunication on my end. And I've seen like it really hurt me. You know, I think you just saying that, like I got a little like a slap in the face, like, holy shit, like, okay. Because I've noticed some behaviors lately of me, you know, like procrastinating when it comes to talking to my teammates, team, like, you know, this, that. But so, man, thank you. Appreciate that, bro. Let me just write that down so I don't fucking forget. I'll be telling you.
It's the most important thing in my eyes. And ever since I started communicating and taking communication by the nuts, I mean, bro, I'm telling you, I'm making millions of dollars a month right now. Like growth, right? Like I've never done that before. Like, right? Like before, like 6 months ago, my best month was like 800 G's, whatever, 7, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Unreal. We're still at your age.
No, bro, I'm printing millions a month. And I'm telling you that like as a brother, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like these little lessons that I've learned and I've fixed. You know what I mean? And it's fucking life-changing, bro.
Yeah.
I talk to my partner, bro. I talk to my partners 12 hours a day, bro.
Right.
Like between Nick and Amir, my two partners, between Nick and Amir, bro, I talk to these fools. I mean, Nick, I talk to like 10 hours a day when we're like grinding, you know. Amir, I talk to 1 hour a day. I used to talk to this guy once every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And this guy was literally running my whole operations.
That's
like this fool had like access to all my credit cards. Like, dude, like so stupid.
That's crazy to think about. Holy fuck, man. Wow. That's awesome, man. And you know what? I love that you said that, you know, that's a big belief that you have now that you carry, which helped you. And that kind of touches the next thing I had is like certain core beliefs, like things that you believe in, you won't like change for, like, you know, like you really believe in, that has helped you become the man you are today. Like a quick example on my end would be like back in September, you know, when Fez like had that crazy month, like it showed me, like really raised my standards where I'm like, oh wait, if my like 18-year-old homie is about to make $1 million a month, the fuck am I like, you know, like it's possible. So, and I realized like the more I raise my standards and not willing to accept, like, let's say like, man, like, I know for a fact in my life, I will never go broke because I will never accept, like, bro, to think that I'll ever make below, like I make 10K a month, like without even thinking now, you know, because before, like it just started, like I think the numbers that I won't tolerate just started going up, and I realized, holy shit, like the bigger that number is, like it's just true. So that's just changed my whole life, and I kind of like live life that by that way. And my thing is like, what are some core beliefs that you might have, core epiphanies that really made you the man you are today and really you carry with you every day?
That's a great question. And before I answer that, I just want to shout out my boy Fez. God bless you, Fez. Just want to let you know, I know he's going to listen to this.
Yeah, big blessings to Fez.
He's more special than he doesn't know how special I think he is.
Right.
And sometimes he gets lost in the sauce, but it's only because he's that young and he hasn't gotten to where the sauce doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? That kid's really special.
Right, man.
like as a human being, like there's a gut feeling in my stomach, like, you know what I mean, that tells me like this kid is special. And there's just something that I know, like when I talk to him, he's got a good head on his shoulders. And so God's got him. So Fez, just wanted to let you know that because I know you're listening. In regards to my values, the most important one's integrity, bro.
Wow.
Like being like honest with being honest with yourself, and like, you know, whatever your values may be, like sticking to them. You know what I mean? Like, like being like, you know how easy it is to be a snake? Like, it's really fucking easy to be a snake. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you.
You make a lot of money doing that right now, like without letting people know too type thing. Like without anybody knowing.
Being a snake is easier than you think, you know what I mean? And like, I don't ever want to be a snake, bro. And I have been a snake to people. You know what I mean? Right. I lost value of that integrity. And like now, bro, like I refuse. I'll never, like, I'm never going to make a dime off of somebody if it hurts them or affects them negatively. Like I refuse, bro. You know what I mean? I refuse. And, you know, to be honest, I haven't had integrity my whole life. You know what I mean? Or my whole business career. Mm-hmm. But it's something that today I will tell you. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be in the room with like really big billionaires, like the real like guys who are worth 30, 40 billion dollars. And like, they'll tell you like, yo, integrity.
Wow.
Integrity, bro. And like research what that word means and understand it to its deepest meaning. You know, you can hear me say integrity, but like some people might not know what that means. Read about it. You know what I mean? Like, and figure out what that means to you, because integrity is different for everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody has a different standard of what they hold themselves to. Figure out what integrity is to you and stick by it.
Love it, man.
My advice for the people listening.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking on advice for the people listening, I feel like a lot of people would love to hear a little bit more advice. Or like, honestly, I would say I think doing the numbers I think you get to see a lot of things. You notice certain things. You know, what are some like common mistakes that you see young entrepreneurs making? I want to share one too, because I love sharing this shit. I think the biggest thing these young entrepreneurs are messing up on, and we talked about it, is chasing money versus running a business. Because it's like think about it, Luca, bro. Like, you know, I work with e-commerce stores, and it turns out a lot of them are kids, right? I don't think they understand like what you know what I mean? When I try to explain to them what we're trying to do, or when I say, listen, you want me to invoice you a big amount, because if I invoice you a big amount, that means I made you a lot of money. But in their head, they just see numbers in, numbers out. Oh my God, I'm paying you $7,000. But what? But yeah, bro, we just made you 70 grand though. Like, you know, like I don't think kids understand that. I think that is like the biggest doom I've seen with a lot of young entrepreneurs when they chase money rather than a business. But, you know, from you working with a lot of entrepreneurs, like seeing a lot of young entrepreneurs, like what have you noticed to be some common mistakes that they're making, or the common mistakes even in their thinking, just so like, I guess the people watching, they can be aware of it if they do go through it, or if they are going through it.
It's probably along the same lines as you. And I mean, chase the right things, right? Like, you know, one thing, you'll never find happiness chasing that Richard Mille, right? Chasing that Aventador, comparing yourself like, yo, dude, I had a couple $1 million up 6 months ago, bro. And I was miserable, man. I was miserable. Like my Scott Hilsey podcast, which a lot of these kids know me for, people don't know how unhappy I was on that podcast. Word. I wasn't a happy dude. Like, I'll tell you this, after that podcast, I tried to kill myself.
Whoa.
And that nobody else knows that. Not even my close friends. Only Santana knows.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, don't chase the wrong things, bro. Like, somebody's always going to have more money than you.
Yeah, man.
That kid in fucking Saudi Arabia, Prince, who shits in the gold toilets, always going to have more money than you.
Yeah, come on.
Don't chase that stuff. Chase a good business. Chase a business that makes you happy. Chase a business that you think like will help people. You know what I mean?
Right,
Chase something that you can stand behind and be proud of. And this is my business. You know what I mean? Don't chase the money, bro. The money will come, and it's easy for me. And I'm not going to sit here and say and preach to the choir, because it's easy for me to say, because I own my home, I own my car, I live nice, I live well, I have money in the bank. So I'm not going to hear and preach somebody, you know what I mean? But everybody who's chasing the money, once you have the money, you'll listen back to this and you'll be like, wow, this kid was right the whole time.
Max, I think everyone that after a certain number, a certain amount, I think everybody starts noticing that, it's like, oh shit, like money's not like, it's so funny when people think like, I be posting like, oh, get this money, whatever. But like, I tell people I'm really not money motivated, like don't get it twisted. Like I'm not delusional enough to think like, say like money, like, to not think that money's not important. I think that's another fact that is so stupid is like when, I think growing up, especially in a poor environment, man, like our teachers used to tell us money doesn't buy happiness. Every rich person I know is sad, this, that, or whatever. Right. But man.
Shit, I'll tell people this, and I said it in that podcast with Scott. I'll tell them, look, money will never buy you happiness, but I'll tell you what won't buy you happiness. Working a 9-to-5, struggling, working $15, $20 an hour. That's no way to live for anybody. I promise you guys, I promise you that's surviving no matter how many lies you tell yourself, no matter how many times you sit in the mirror and say, I love my job. I think it's great. Try being an entrepreneur and try making the money that we're making. And though you might not find happiness there, it will lead you onto a journey where you then can find happiness. You know what I mean? Like you will be able, like, dude, I'm fucking happy right now, bro. Yeah, I might have tried to catch my body a couple months ago, but I would never do that today. And I'll never do that for the rest of my life because I found things that like will never lead me down that road again. You know what I mean? Like that road is a road that I needed to go through, that I needed to experience, that I needed to look at, but I will no longer go down that road again. You know what I mean? Like never, ever, ever again. And like, it just takes it. And like, I just really encourage everybody, like you can do it. You can do it. You can do it, bro. Like no matter like who tells you you cannot do it. I'm telling you as a poor kid who grew up with holes in his shoes and holes in his sweaters with dickies on my ass, bro, like you can do it. You know what I mean? And I know you can. You know what I mean? No matter who you are, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, gay, transgender, straight, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, does not matter, bro. You can do it. You know what I mean? And I know they can. I know everybody listening to this doesn't know it yet, but they have greatness in them. You know what I mean? I don't believe that nobody lacks greatness. You know what I mean? Greatness just needs to be taken out of you, forced out of you. Now, whether you have to look in the eyes of death to get it out of you like I did, or you can listen to me and get motivated and look in the mirror and look at yourself and be like, I'm great. It's LeBron James times, bro. Like it's Game 7 time. It's Michael Jordan time. I'm a basketball fan. I refuse not to be great. I refuse not to be the greatest human being, bro. I refuse.
It's unethical for you not to, bro. Like think about how many lives you save when you're like when you're up there. Like it's literally unethical for you to not reach your utmost potential. Like not only to you, like not only is it disservice to you, but I feel like you're doing a lot of disservice to the people around you and the people you could impact if you made it. And that's why like, like, hey, listen, man, if you're on Instagram posting shit for awareness, I love you and all. And you know what? You may think you're Mother Teresa, but you really are not. But like, you can't fill from an empty cup. You know what I mean? Like you can't pour from an empty cup at the end of the day. Like that's why I tell people like, yo, get something going because you can do more when you have more, right? Like when you have abundance, you can share that, you can grow that. And that's why like, as much as, we talked about detaching yourself from money, like understand the importance of it. Don't be delusional enough to not understand the importance of money in this world and, how the world works, I guess I should say.
I wish the world, the person with the best speech and the most passion was the person who got things done. Unfortunately, it's not only do you have to be that person, you have to be the person in a position of power. If not, the other people in a position of power won't take you seriously. And you can sit and you can protest with your picket sign, but watch if you're worth a couple $100 million. See how much of a difference you can make. Because all those guys laughing at you from the top, from their Bel Air, Hollywood Hills homes, whatever homes, you know what I mean? They only take the big dogs seriously. Big dogs only look at big dogs. Big dogs don't look at little dogs. You know what I mean? We trot right past them. You know what I mean? And people don't understand.
I tell people, man, I really like, this is like a thing that kind of makes me sad too, is like, I told people, listen, don't make excuses. Don't think like a bum, especially in front of someone productive. All you're doing is just driving them away. Like, I think you can agree, like, I think even subconsciously when you see someone with a bum mentality, is like automatic subconscious. Even though he might be an amazing person, you kind of lose somewhat of a respect. You kind of like, start like, like, you're not really trying to be in that energy, right? It's like, you're going to fuck up my life at the end of the day if I like be around this type of shit. On some real shit, man. Man, this podcast has been fucking amazing, bro. Amazing. I feel like we can just ask some lifestyle question while we're here, man. I think, well, what has your experience been living in LA as a young guy with a lot of money and somewhat, you know, a lot of network as well?
It's, you know, one thing I am grateful for, I've never been like a partier, right? Like I never found fun in like going out and like doing that type of stuff. I like, to me, an awesome day is sitting like in my bed watching Netflix, making money.
Right,
like, you know what I mean? Like that's an awesome day for me, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Sitting down, like mom is healthy, mom is happy, brother is healthy, you know what I mean? Like watching good TV, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a great day for me. Now, like obviously lifestyle is expensive. Like I paid 1.2 for my house. I don't really have a fucking beautiful house. You know what I mean? I do. I'm grateful I have a beautiful house, you know what I mean? But like, it's not 1.2 that would get you in Atlanta, Georgia, you know what I mean? 1.2 that get you the whole block, you know what I mean?
Literally.
Like, you know, I pay that. You know, food is expensive, but like, you know what it is? It's my hometown, bro. It's like pretty much where I spent most of my life. Not all of it, but like a good portion of it. And so like, I'm grateful, bro. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, I see a lot of people try to keep up here, try to maintain, right? Me too, right? Like I'm not with the maintaining anymore, bro. Like I have nothing to prove. I used to always, cause you know, I'm insecure. I was insecure. You know what I mean? Like I was always the poor kid with a bunch of rich kids.
I think that's the thing with us is like we feel like, you know what, like it's almost like
you gotta flex.
We gotta
get this AP. I've gotta get the rich.
Right. Yeah, man. That's a big revelation I had recently is like, why the fuck am I trying to prove myself to people that I really don't give a fuck about? Like I don't even know exist or don't care about their opinion. I really said like, if my real ones know the real me, that's all that matters. Everything else doesn't matter. On some real shit.
Nothing else matters other than that, King. I'm telling you.
Facts, like on some real shit, man. On some real shit, bro. I guess back to what you're saying. You know, you like, you know, your network is pretty fucking sick, bro. Like you've been able to, you know, you meet a lot of cool people and all that. Do you have? People always ask me for a networking tip. I tell them, yo, just be the best version of you, and everybody will just want to fuck with you. Like you said, the big bosses only fuck with bosses only, right? Like that's my thing, is to be a boss, and the boss will just fuck with you. But when it comes to networking and meeting people, do you have maybe 1-2 advice or 1-2 tips?
Yeah, I got the best one for you.
Drop it, bro.
Make the right people money. Like I've got to where I've gotten because I made the right people rich.
Right.
I've made a lot of people rich, bro. A lot of the right people rich.
Right.
Like people will come to me and like some kid came to me and was like, yo, can I give you 50% of my store? And I was like, how much is the store making? He's like, nothing. I'm like, yo, you are lost. Like you come to me with your store that's winning, right? And like I'll give you an example. One of the first stores I had is a perfect example. I'm not going to name his name because he's like too much of a legend to like, I'm just not even going to say it. But like I came in and I gave him 80% of my store. Wow. I was already making like 30 G's a month. Why did I do that? I did that because I knew that if I made this guy money, it would pay back tenfold. Look at me now.
Bro, literally, I tell people, man, like, yo, do you want to have 99% of $10,000 or 10% of 10 million or 100 million? What the fuck's wrong with you?
It's simple math.
It's simple math, man, but most people won't.
Not rocket science, you know? So I look at it like that. People just, I mean, bro, nobody's going to fuck like dude unless like you bring some sort of proprietary artistic talent, which is like what like most people will resonate. And if you're not making me money or don't bring some proprietary artistic talent, your networking is like, you're just going like a dead end. You know what I mean?
Right,
you can network because you can come into all the rooms and bring value. Luca, your open rate on your
quad. That's a big thing. Right, yeah.
Mine's 18. Huh? What you got on that, sucker? And then now you're providing value, right? Like people don't understand. you can't just go Jimmy Joe, like think you can put on your one nice outfit in your closet and start hitting parties and think you can start networking.
Yeah, bro, come on.
I don't take you seriously. You know how many Joes come up to me? I want to network with you, bro. You're like really on the, you're really on the shit, dude. Like you're one of the guys that like are really on it. Like yeah, like fucking great. Like I'm like yeah, sick. So like what's the deal? Oh no, dude, I just want to pick your brain. I'm like, oh, you want to pick my brain, right?
Pick me out for a coffee, so can I pick your brain on a coffee?
Right, pay me 10 G's because that's what my hour costs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, some real shit.
Some real shit.
Like,
I mean, want to pick my brain, cut the check. I'll give you the best 10 G's you ever spent. And they, bro, I'm not telling you, like, I've been paid this money for my hours, bro. They're like,
right.
Don't think I don't. They pay me to go to dinner, and they get the bill.
Right.
I need to go to Nobu. Cash. You know what I mean? And you pay for the dinner. And I'm a big guy, bro. I'm ordering all the Wagyu, all the sashimi, and I'm waxing.
Hey, you got the rosé there? Hey, yeah, give me the bottle right here. Can you give me the bottle?
Everything, bro. I'm waxing you. You know what I mean? And you're going to walk out of there ecstatic that I waxed you because you're going to come out of there with so much value. You're lucky if I charge you $2,000 for my hour. It's because you're young. I only charge the young kids cheap. All the old guys, if you're 30 and up, oh, I'm waxing you.
Yeah, hell yeah, I love it. I love it, bro. I love it. I guess for the future, man, is there like an industry that you really want to get in? I know you're really into basketball. I don't know if that's like an industry you would love to like kind of get involved in.
Dude, if I make enough money, I'm going to try to make it to the league.
Bro.
I told Nick that, bro. I was like, bro, by 25, I'm worth $100 million. We've got to hit the gym, get a trainer, and like try to see if I can get like a rookie contract or something.
Yo, that goes so hard. That goes so hard.
Because I'm tall enough, bro. I'm like 6'6", bro.
That's fucking crazy to me, bro. Holy shit.
Like, you wouldn't think that, you know what I mean? But like, no, my real passion's in music. I'm going to be one of the biggest music executives you've ever met. Yeah, no matter what. Like, I'm going to make my tens and hundreds of millions in e-com. I'm going to love it. But I'm going to make my legacy in music. Like, it's where my passion is. So music is where you'll see me.
Bro. Yeah, man. Dude, I'm so glad to hear that, bro. And that was actually like a huge thing I wanted to know is like, you know, like that. And when you were younger, was that like a thing too, a goal, like making money in the music industry?
You know, it was so weird because there's this guy named David Janetti. He's like a real, sorry, David, for saying your full name. There's a guy that I really look up to. He's just this really successful family man. I know his daughter really well. She's the same age as I. Shout out Sarah. She's such an awesome girl. Mm-hmm. And like, I really just looked up to this guy. And he kind of always just like he asked me when I was like 11, when I was like 10, he was like, what do you want to be in? Like, for some reason I just said, I want to be a music executive, like not knowing that it was true. And music is just the reason why I'm here, bro. I've survived through music, bro. Like I said, bro, I've really been down the darkest of dark paths. Like, I have demons that like are real demons, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, like, music saved me. And like,
who are some of your favorite artists? And give a shout out to your boy too, man. Mm-hmm.
Of course. I mean, I think Santana Ali is going to be one of the greatest people to ever live. I really do. Like, right. And like, you gotta really see it in person and really believe what this kid does. This kid freestyles everything he does, like freestyles it. Like, it's pretty incredible. Like, this dude is really like next level. Now, freestyle, I mean, you punch in, but you know what I mean? You don't write anything, you know what I'm saying? And so there's something like, I mean, Santana obviously is one of them. I love all music, bro. I love from the Guns N' Roses and Queens of the world to the fucking Kanye's and Jay's, like, bro, Eminem, bro. I know every Jay-Z song. I know every Eminem song. I know every Kanye song. I know every Lil Wayne song. I know, you know what I mean? Like hip hop, rock. You know, I can't sleep on rock, dude. Rock really got me through the tough times. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so my Rolodex of like my library of like the music that I like is like, bro, I go everywhere. I go from the chill house to the Saint-Tropez stuff to the country. I love country music. People don't like country music. I do. You know what I mean? Like,
I love how open-minded you are, bro. I think that's one thing I keep on getting from you is like, you know, and this is a huge epiphany I had was like, stay open-minded because as young kids, I mean, I would love to share because I don't think I've shared it on the podcast, but a huge revelation I had recently. I remember I was high shit. Going to the fridge. High shit, bro. Going to the fridge, you know? And I'm opening my fridge. I'm not even looking at food. I'm just hits me out of nowhere. I'm like, holy shit, wait. My thoughts, beliefs, and what I know to be true is based on what I know. But every day I'm getting less stupid because every day I get to know something else. So I'm like, damn, as a 20-year-old man, I really don't know shit. Like, I really don't know shit. You know, I can be delusional enough to think that I got some success, so I know shit. I really don't know shit. Like, you know, like this convo, man, opened my eyes to a lot of shit. You know, like even when I talk to my homies, opens my eyes, and that has helped me so much. And I think back to what you said, bro. Like you said, you know, certain things from one business it relates to another business. And back, shout out Kobe Bryant, man. Rest in peace, bro. I still cry to this day, bro. I'm being so dead ass. It's crazy, but
I had a signed jersey in my fucking living room.
Yeah, bro, for real, man. One of the greatest lessons I got from him was curiosity. He used to just go out, walk on the park, and understand the relationships between the sun and the plants, and that helped him with ball. And it sounds so ridiculous. I literally just started being curious about random shit, and it just helped me in business. It all relates back one way or another. It's crazy. And it's crazy. And like I said, every time I learn something new, I'm like, how the fuck did I live life not knowing this? You know? And I think that is one of the biggest like crutches of young entrepreneurs as well, is what I'm noticing with my students running a course is they get 1-2 clients, they get the initial success, and then boom, I figured it out. I don't got to learn no more. I don't got to ask questions. I'm a fucking godly email marketer because I got to.
And you want to know something? That was one of my greatest mistakes early on.
Same here, bro. Same here. Literally.
I was like, I'm making it. I'm the best. But like, dude, investing in courses, like people who are like, are like,
yeah, man. Course gets a bad rep, but some courses have changed my life.
Not the Max Trubisky's and the Jet Set Flies. The phony will write you a whole fucking dissertation in the caption or like capitalize attention and passion. You know what I mean? Like fucking fools. You know what I'm saying? Not those guys. Like I'm talking about like the guys like I'm telling you, like you've got to learn. And like to all my dudes listening to this that are crushing, time to take that money and start reinvesting it.
Oh, trust me, man.
The level that I'm at now that I wasn't at 6 months ago is because I took 50 grand and I said, bet, let me learn.
Word. Wow.
50 G's, bro. I made that back in a day.
Bro, like this is what I mean. And you guys got to listen to that shit, man. This is what people, and it sucks because like when I say it, people think I'm saying it in a biased way because I have a course and I want them to buy my course. When I say invest in yourself, bro. Yeah. In literally, like I actively invest in myself. Like literally, like you said, I spent $4,000 on 4 calls, 4 1-hour calls. I only taken 2, and I don't even know if I give a fuck to get on the other 2 because the first 2 calls, like I learned one thing too, bro. It was literally one little thing. Shit changed my whole life. It was crazy. It's crazy. And I think people understand.
I don't have a course out, and I'll tell you what Splash Man is saying. Splash Man's got it right on point, bro. Splashing on him. You got to invest in yourself. And, you've got a course, but you do it because you want to help people. If I ever have a course, it's because I want to do it to help.
Literally, man. Like my top student, he bought a Tesla today at 20, man.
Let your nuts hang, top student.
Pardon?
I said, let your nuts hang, top student.
I gotta get credit where it's due, man. He's not just top student. He's one of my best friends, homie Brandon Villar, bro. One of the most genuine kids I've ever met. When I tell you a year ago, me and him were working out at this fucking local gym in my hometown, and he would pick me up from his shift after Costco to now he's living in a $4 million mansion in Toronto, just bought a new Tesla. Like, that's a year, man. Like that shit to me is like, I'll tell you a little bit more about like my vision, Luca, after this call, because I kind of want to keep it low-key until it's, done, because I don't want to just – because you know how people, they talk about shit and they think they're progressing as they talk about it. But yeah, man, like I really love doing this shit, man. But you know what? I guess this, man, fuck, bro. I'm lost for words because, bro, I feel like I've learned so much today. This was an amazing conversation. It wasn't just like
let's wrap it up for him, and then me and you call, because in about 10 minutes I got to leave. So let's
100%, man. Like, you know what? Like, you want to say anything else before you go? Like all your links, Instagram, all that shit's going to be below. Guys, fucking fuck with him, bro. Follow him.
Luccanetz.
And we're going to do a part 2 in real life when I pull up to LA after the borders open. Trudeau, open the fucking borders. I'm getting annoyed being in Toronto. I need to leave.
and I'll tell you that when we do that in person is going to be a lot more raw. I'll tell you some real shit, bro. It'll really blow your noggin off.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time out of the day, even on a crazy day like this, man, to do this. And just want to say rest in peace to your grandma. And
rest in peace, Baba. I love you.
100%, bro. Rest in peace, man. And yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Enjoy.
Bye.
that is it for this episode of Keeping It Real, everybody. And if you guys did enjoy this episode, I just ask for a small favor, and that is to share this with someone that you know would benefit from this podcast, as I really want to grow this community and this podcast through word of mouth, right? From you guys sharing it or telling someone to mess with this podcast or listen to this podcast or posting us on Instagram. And by the way, guys, if you do post us on Instagram, please use the hashtag Keeping It Real and tag me at SplashmanPB, just so I can see it, just so I can, stay connected with the family and interact with some of you guys. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to keep in touch with me, my Instagram is at SplashmanPB. If you guys want to check out my YouTube, where I drop amazing content and amazing value as well, just search my name, Parikshit Busnit, and my channel will appear. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.